Guys, let's talk a little bit about momentum. Momentum matters. Momentum makes things easier. Momentum is like, that force behind you when things are clicking, when you've been putting in the work and things just kind of clear out of your way and, we accomplish all of our goals. And we accomplish our goals with the use of momentum. Momentum matters. And let's talk about momentum. When I was 25, I had been training with the best MMA fighters and Jiu Jitsu guys in the entire world for a couple of years. I was undefeated in amateur MMA. I had like a amateur title bout lined up. I was competing a lot, IBJJF, local tournaments, doing really well. And I entered the New York Open, and my first match, I just landed wrong on my shoulder, and boom, everything exploded, for lack of a better term. And the medical term would be I had a grade 5 AC joint separation, meaning everything that held my collarbone on came off. And, my collarbone was sticking up through my gi. It was pretty gnarly. It was a catastrophic injury, and the prognosis was even scarier. So imagine being 25, you're teaching jiu-jitsu for a living, so your livelihood depends on your body. Every goal you ever had in your whole life depended on your ability to train and to fight, and I want to open up a school, I want to be a pro fighter. And then this happened, and the surgeon said, no more jiu-jitsu, no more combat sports, because it's going to happen again. And of course I didn't listen, but nonetheless, I was still shelved. I was on the sideline for 3 months of doing nothing. And for the first couple weeks, man, like doom and gloom. It was rough, but it was only a couple weeks, because after that I realized, like, I still have legs. I still have another arm. I still have eyes and ears. And I stopped feeling sorry for myself, and I realized, like, I still have access to the best minds in jiu-jitsu and MMA. I can watch, I can learn. And the funny thing is, the day before I got hurt, I didn't really have an open guard. I didn't really have like a dynamic jiu-jitsu game, and I was kind of stiff, which is probably why I got hurt. But 3 months of watching and changing the way I, my perspective and my paradigm on getting better, I got much better. I came back with like a De La Riva guard and a spider guard that I never had before. I never drilled it once. I came back just from watching, because when you're on the sidelines, which we are all sidelined right now in a sense, you're not in the trenches. So the part of your brain that's in survival mode, that's just fighting back, trying to stay alive in a role, instead of that part of your brain working overtime, you can literally just step back and use every ounce of your intellect and your mental strength to learn, to try to figure out what makes things work. So man, we now have access to the best jiu-jitsu minds. They're literally putting their content out for free during this whole quarantine crisis. Let's change the way we're looking at this. It's easy to feel sorry for ourselves, because man, you want to talk about momentum. Just 3 weeks ago, we were on the verge of being probably one of the largest schools in New Jersey. And obviously, this is coming to a screeching halt. Now I could sit here and feel sorry for myself and, doom and gloom, woe is me, woe is my students. But no, what good is that? Yeah, I had that for a few days, just like when I broke my shoulder. But then I realized, all right, I can make an online course. I can do Zoom classes. I can interact through the app. I can, do YouTube live streams. There's a lot of things that I could do to still be a positive influence for my students, for you guys. And once you realize that and you dive all in on that, all that energy that was kind of pent up and caught up and feeling sorry for yourself and thinking about how things were, it goes into making things better in the current circumstance. And man, talk about positivity and making the best of a bad situation. So yeah, our momentum has kind of been taken away. The wind has been taken out of our sails, so to speak. But the good thing about that is the wind always comes back around. All right? And just because the rock was rolling so fast down the hill and we had that momentum does not mean we cannot push that rock right back up to the top of the hill and gain momentum again. So what do we need to do? Number one, we got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Number two is we need to do something every day with the tools that we have. If that means all you're doing is like a jiu-jitsu warm-up in your living room, you're going to feel better having done that, because you're not going to feel helpless and hopeless. You have a way to fight back. If it means just watching like Abu Dhabi matches and trying to dissect what works, you're going to feel good that you did that. But man, go beyond that. Participate in the online courses. right? Participate in the live streams. Teach. Everybody here, almost everybody lives with somebody. If it means you have to teach your 4-year-old how to do like a double leg, you're going to feel good that you did that. Teach your wife how to do an arm bar, and that's a good way to like get her feet wet into training, and before you know it, you're going to have a training partner at home. All right, so momentum has been halted in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean we can't gain momentum in the current circumstances. It's just harder. And do you shy away from things just because they're hard? No. Like when we were training on the mat, you didn't dodge like certain training. At least I hope you didn't, just because it was a hard roll. So right now we're like we're butting up against like the hardest roll in the room. Don't shy away, man. Like do your best. Do what you can with what you have.